Chelsea's 1999-2000 season ended with more silverware as they proudly brought the FA Cup back home to West London. The road to Wembley was a more comfortable journey than predicted, and we'll look back on Chelsea's games round by round as they brushed aside their opposition.
To lift the FA Cup, we'll be there! We'll be there!
The third round saw a possible tricky tie away to Hull City from the third division, who'd struggled to beat non-league Hayes in round two. The commentator is Peter Brackley.
Up by Deschamps. Poyet slipping it through, flags up. The advantage being played with David Brown. He's given it away rather carelessly then to Di Matteo. Now it's Albert Ferrer. Di Matteo came on as a substitute against his old club Lazio in the week. Here's Poyet trying to line up a shot at goal then for Sutton. Might have had a go himself. Now he is, and he scored too. Gustavo Poyet. That is finishing of the highest quality. 8 minutes in, and Chelsea go in front. Well, there have been a couple of scares before that, in truth. Poyet trying to feed Chris Sutton. The rebound came his way, and he placed it superbly in the corner. That's a brilliant finish from the Uruguayan. Yes, Herg, the Dane, eventually clearing. 10 minutes gone. The upper hand with Chelsea. And off goes Whitmore, another run, surging forward here with great purpose. Whitmore! Terrific stop by De Hoy. Well, he is really up for this tie. Really anxious to show what he can do in such esteemed company. And he's been really bright and effervescent early on. Demanding a good stop then by De Hoy. Away by Leboeuf to Deschamps. Oh, superbly creating room for himself. And Chris Sutton's right through here. Well, Hull City were fully exposed and he couldn't take advantage. Rather sums up his season. The chances just aren't being put away by Chris Sutton. He might not have a better one than this. Credit there to Lee Bracey with the save. But Sutton knows he should have tucked it in. There's some talk recently that Sutton might be switched to central defence, where of course he played very successfully for Norwich in his early days there. I think Vialli might feel, look, I've paid £10 million for a striker, that's where he's going to play. So that temptation to switch him to the back might be resisted. Leboeuf. What by Harley, what a good ball too. Di Matteo. Zola is alongside. Now Harley. An excellent ball in and a fine finish too from Chris Sutton. That's the way to answer his critics. Half an hour gone and Sutton doubles Chelsea's lead. So much to admire about the build-up here. Harley whipping over the cross and Sutton applying the finish in very positive fashion. Whittle. Oh, Brown's through here. Away from De Hoy. Brown with a wonderful chance, which he has taken. David Brown for Hull City. And suddenly they're back in the game. 7 minutes from half-time. What a moment for young David Brown. Well, Chelsea looking across towards the referee's assistant. They got no sympathy there. There was no flag. And they were caught really square then, Chelsea. With a gap between Herg and Leboeuf. Into David Brown. Still work to be done. Round the keeper. And the coolest of finishes too. Leboeuf. It's a terrific pass. Now Harley. In towards Dennis Wise. Deflected away for the corner. Magnificent ball there from Leboeuf. Harley away down the left side. The telling cross by him. And it came off John Whitney from Wise's header. Oh, the keeper lost it. Leboeuf trying to measure his shot in. Still they haven't cleared the danger, Hull. And there's number 3 for Chelsea, driven in by Roberto Di Matteo. Just 2 minutes into the second half, and no wonder he's celebrating. Opportunities for him have been few and far between lately. He's been pretty much out of the picture. Well, it was desperate defending by Hull. And when it's laid back here invitingly for Di Matteo, he placed it so accurately into the corner. It is Wood. Now Edwards, former youth team captain at Hull, who's become a regular in the senior squad this season. He might be under the cosh again. It's Torreandra Flo. Harley's cross. Oh, it's another one. Poyet to make it 4. And it's that young man Harley again, with such an accurate ball played in. He's spent it back here, and 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes have surely now put this tie out of Hull City's reach. Better. Brown applying the pressure. That was Wise trying to slot it through to Chris Sutton. More problems for Hull here. It's another one. And it's a hat-trick for Gustavo Poyet. Well, they are threatening now to run right. Look at the gaps in the middle there, that Hull back line. Aggressive play by Sutton. And the marking was non-existent as Poyet slipped into the centre. Wise with Sutton. Wise still running, still chasing. Slipping past the tackles. Great play here by Wise. Deflected in. And it's 6. Came off the unlucky Edwards. But all the credit there to Dennis Wise. Even in the last minute here, no cause is still lost for him. Taking on Whitney, taking on Harper. Well, that will have to go down as an own goal. Although Wise, I'm sure, will want to claim it, and he won't. So Chelsea are safely through. The potential banana skin safely negotiated, and in some style too. Emphatic winners in the end. Gustavo Poyet with 3 of the 6. Sutton on the score sheet, that's good news for him. So Di Matteo, and then the one right at the finish after the terrific run by Dennis Wise.
The 4th round gave Chelsea a home tie against First Division Nottingham Forest. Forest's player-manager David Platt knows all about the Chelsea boss Vialli from his days in Italy, but he couldn't mastermind his downfall. Chelsea put the pressure on Forest right from the start. Zola coming close with a trademark free kick. Dan Petrescu was the next to cause problems. The Romanian played a lovely 1-2 with Poyet before seeing his chip brilliantly cleared off the line by Matthew Louis-Jean. And what ensued was typical of how the game went as a whole. Relentless Chelsea pressure, matched by resilient, backs-to-the-wall Forest defending, which time and time again just about survived. And after this move, which involved most of the Chelsea players, it was Gianfranco Zola who was unlucky not to break the deadlock. 15 minutes into the second half, Chelsea finally got through. Zola's free kick flicked off the head of Frank Leboeuf and into Dave Beasant's net. A training ground set piece executed perfectly. A brilliant save from the former Chelsea keeper denied Gus Poyet a goal as the home side went for the kill. Then Chelsea decided to try their set piece again, but this time Beasant was ready. Four minutes from time, the game was made safe, although the final scoreline didn't begin to reflect Chelsea's superiority over the 90 minutes. Again, Zola was at the heart of the move, Jody Morris reading the referee's dummy before some scintillating play on the byline set up Dennis Wise for the Blues' second of the night. It was the 100th senior club goal of Wise's career. How fitting that he should reach the milestone at Stamford Bridge. But there was no doubt that it was Morris' breathtaking bamboozlement of Chris Bart-Williams that was the overriding factor in the goal. So, another hurdle had safely been cleared. David Platt relieved the final score was only Chelsea 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Next up at Stamford Bridge were Premier League opponents in the shape of Cup specialist Leicester City. They'd seen off Arsenal to earn this tie in the fifth round, which turned into a fiery encounter watched by Paul Dempsey.
It's Sutton. And it wasn't missing by much. Well, I think he deceived one or two. Strike through the ball with power. It's with the outside, or sorry, the inside of his foot, trying to curl it past the outside of the wall, and it almost worked. Desai is a big, strong man, but he's really got his hands full in the physical department today. And this little fellow Wise, who loves to get involved in the nip and tuck in the middle of the park. Went over the top on Steve Walsh. Well seen by Graham Poll. An excellent piece of refereeing. Walsh was rightly furious. It was just one of those hard little battles. And as so often with Dennis Wise, he lets himself down by losing his discipline and going over the top of the ball. And of course, as we saw, he's been booked rightly. Walsh okay, and he's a real warrior, Walsh. Credit also to Walsh for keeping his cool once he was one of the fieriest players in football himself. I dread to think what might have happened to Dennis Wise 10 years ago if he'd have done that to Steve Walsh in a game somewhere in the lower leagues. Sutton frustrated by that decision, and his little show of petulance will earn him a yellow card. Chelsea just cannot afford to get rattled like this by Leicester. This is just perfect for Leicester. Chelsea collecting cards, they're losing their rhythm, and the home crowd are getting very, very uptight. It's just what Leicester City could have wished for. Taggart will try to police it out, but Weah brilliantly alert. Brilliant from George Weah. Poyet against the crossbar. Arfexad clears the area. This time Dennis Wise wins a free kick off Eadie. Chelsea unlucky So good in the air, and to be honest with you, because he is so good, surely Poyet should have hit the target. This is the quality of Weah, though, the extra little bit of know-how. The ball wasn't going dead as far as he was concerned. Poyet charging into the box, just couldn't get over it enough. Jumped well, didn't he? One of his main strengths, but for him, he will feel he could have done that bit better and scored. Now Edie is slowing it up, and he too will be carded. Again, it's good from Graham Poll, the referee. He has to be the man in charge of a game like this. Here's Petrescu. Arfexad couldn't get there. Weah was making a use of himself, but there were other big defenders in the way as well. And Peggy Arfexad never looked like actually getting there. Well, the nearest we've come to a goal through Gus Poyet. After George Weah showed that even the top players in the world have to chase and fight for every ball. Here's Weah. Fantastic turn and touch for such a big man, and in brief glimpses already he does look as though he can add more than what Chelsea had previously, and that really must be the way that Vialli must view such a move in the transfer market at this stage. Dennis Wise with the corner. Headed clear by Heskey, but not too effectively. Back post, good variety from Wise. Weah won it there. And this time Chelsea break through Gus Poyet, and now he is in double figures for the season. Quality beginning to tell at last for Chelsea. Weah the architect. And how relieved they are as Poyet breaks through. "35 minutes of battling and bombardment end with a beautiful strike from Poyet. Suddenly Weah in the last 5 minutes starting to affect the outcome of this tie with his awareness and pace and touch, and how brilliantly he did here in the air this time to set up Poyet. They had an awful lot to do, and the Uruguayan, with such an instinct for goal, did it all so well. If you've ever seen Leicester this season, you will know not to write them off. But this man is beginning to make his presence felt. It's Weah again on the run, and it looked as though Deschamps pulled out of his run. Suddenly Chelsea with a new spring in their step. Harley forward. Wise, lovely ball from Dennis Wise. Well, they look pleadingly to the referee, and shades of that incident perhaps with Erland Johnson. Petrescu went down this time. Graham Poll, the referee on this occasion, didn't want any part of it. But uncannily like the infamous incident, unbelievably like the incident 3 years ago here at the other end, when Erland Johnson went down under a challenge and won a penalty, which actually put Chelsea through in the FA Cup against Leicester. Pretty shapeless first couple of minutes to this second half. Just to sum up the foul count I mentioned would be interesting perhaps. There were 19 free kicks for fouls in the first half today, 3 for offside. So we're on course for a 40 free kick match here right now. Tried to recover himself, but it was picked up by Heskey for Leicester. Leicester unable to get started here after the break, which is Certainly better for Chelsea than the start to the first half, when Chelsea right from the off found themselves penned back. Now Sutton gets the chance to break free of Taggart. Weah! Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and Chelsea out of nothing lead 2-0. Well, if Chris Sutton isn't scoring them, he's playing his part around the field as a team player here. It's just a big ball over the top into the corner, but Sutton makes something of it, and Weah too sharp. And how important his contribution has been. He made the first, and now he's got the second. Now O'Neill is going to have to compose himself and regroup, because Leicester are in one of those deep crises that seems to follow them around in games recently. More tetchiness. Steve Walsh, the latest player to be booked. 3 apiece on bookings, but Chelsea lead by 2-0, and this great start to the second half for them surely eases their way now. They can only throw it away from here. Have Leicester City got any more after so many long drawn-out cup battles in the last couple of months, and without so many of their first choice players? To be fair to Chelsea, they've got better and better in this game. Well, he is a powerful man, George Weah, and he landed with his full weight. He knew it was going to be painful for Edie, and his concern was immediate. Nothing malicious about it. Leicester at last in this half with the chance to exert some pressure, and they've got the 3 big ones forward. A little bit of argy-bargy. Walsh off the ball. Like I said, Steve Walsh, not a shrinking violet. The misfortune for Walsh is that it was caught on camera. It goes on the whole time. Walsh has been booked, and he might be in big trouble here if the linesman Phil Prosser on that side did see it. And I think Mr. Prosser has told Mr. Poll that he did see it. Steve Walsh goes. Well, it was looking a tough job before this, and now even for Leicester City this looks beyond them. It's just argy-bargy that goes on the whole time, but he throws his elbow, he cannot do it, and he should go off. Chelsea cannot afford to relax and let them back into it, as De Gea has just done. Savage almost punished him. I've got to be honest, you do lose count of the times you see Ed De Gea taking outrageous risks with the ball at his feet. It's reached Sutton. Fine challenge this time from Taggart. He knows. Didn't need to take the risk. Didn't need to try to beat a man like that. It's not always easy for the keeper, especially when it's blowy, but he was under no pressure. He brought the pressure on himself then. Wise to Lombard. Petrescu. Good pace from Lombard, but equally good pace from Edie. And he did track him well. Chelsea looking for that third insurance goal. Oh, and so close to it from the youngster John Terry. So close. Would have been his first ever goal for the first team. Didn't miss by much, did he? Heskey. What a great tackle by Dennis Wise. It's Poyet for Chelsea. Options left and right. Dan Petrescu joins in at pace. Deflection and a decent take from Arfexad, who had to change direction. Brilliant tackle by Wise. And he may have twisted something, Emil Heskey, as he landed. Definitely was a decent save by Arfexad, who did have to adjust as it was deflected to his near post side. Terry penalised. It's a free kick to Leicester. Gunnlaugson went to ground. His brother playing for Preston, incidentally, in the FA Cup yesterday, and sadly, I do hope he's not running in the family early on. Missed a glaring opportunity for Preston. At Goodison Park. Here at Stamford Bridge, Arnar Gunnlaugson is going to try to make a game of it late on. Chelsea couldn't clear it. Now they might be able to. Petrescu forward to Weah. Half the length of the field to run into George Weah. Holding it up and running for the corner like a canny veteran pro. Chased by the youngster Stewart. That'll be something for Stewart to remember. The day I chased George Weah. Just what Chelsea needed. Brilliant, knowledgeable football from one of the game's big stars. And a man who has paid his dues in the game. Not the prima donna, the real thing. Injury time. Petrescu. There will be 4 added minutes. There was a handball against Harley. Oh, excuse me, against Dennis Wise, and this could be important. And I'm afraid it's very bad news to end the day for Chelsea. Dennis Wise knows what he's done. He goes off. Inadvertent it may be, a reflex action, but poor old Dennis Wise suffers the same for this as if he'd lost his head and committed a rash tackle, injuring an opponent. He knew it immediately, didn't he? Gunnlaugson did well. Elliott, can he turn? Yes, he can. It's still Matt Elliott. Oh, how well he did. Why does he play as a centre-half? George Weah couldn't have done that. It's probably too late to matter, but it's typical Leicester City. They went to get the ball back out of the net and De Hoy frustrated them. Matt Elliott has Leicester on the score sheet with a really breathtaking piece of skill for a big man. Gunnlaugson did well, but A, there was the trick, and B, the composure by Elliott before slotting. Tremendous work. Leicester need to get the ball back in play here quickly. All over bar the shouting, like I said. It's Weah. Again, Leicester rushed to get it. That might have just prevented a moment or two of anxiety. Would have been the perfect end to George Weah's day. Great pressure from Edie. Now Leicester have got to win it back and launch it. Here it goes. Graham Poll shows no inclination to blow so far. Every Leicester player will just fight to get into possession here. Edie's done well. This is Leicester City, the team that does not know how to lose a game. Surely they're not going to pull this one out. My heart will not take it if they do this. Danger. And Chelsea, this time, finally put Leicester City away. Spirit and determination encapsulated. But this was Chelsea's afternoon, despite the last 60 seconds, where Leicester City again proved just what they've got. George Weah's day overall, and certainly Chelsea's day. A very, very important cup win, and a big, big sigh of relief for Gus Poyet and Chelsea at the end of it.
In the 6th round, Division 2 title chasers Gillingham made the trip to Stamford Bridge, fresh from beating Premier League Sheffield Wednesday and Bradford in previous rounds. They aim for the biggest scalp of all in front of Gary Bloom.
Thompson has to chase that one. They'll need reinforcements. They are arriving. Only one, mind you, and it took a good tackle by Lambourne before Nicky Southall could get up with play. Zola, who's come across to the near side now. Desailly. Deschamps. Quality of Chelsea's passing, especially in their opponents' half of the field, has been very poor so far. Something that a player like Didier Deschamps should be able to master, or certainly put right in the remainder of the game. Poyet. Poyet's cross. Flow! It's taken Chelsea just 16 minutes to take the lead. And Chelsea's top goal scorer this season nets number 14 of the campaign. What a delightful cross by Gustavo Poyet. And Flo well and truly on the end of it, as Chelsea point the way towards the last 4 of the FA Cup with tall Andre Flo. The way Gillingham have started this game in terms of formation suggested that the last thing they were anticipating was conceding an early goal. I think they were hoping to ride out this game for most of its duration with a 0-0 scoreline, and perhaps late on try pinch a surprise late goal. That hasn't happened. Southall. Edge. Lewis. Thompson and Pennock are the targets. Thompson! One of Gillingham's best moves of the game so far. And another chance for Andy Thompson, the top scorer of Gillingham. Just got away from his marker there, number 26, John Terry. Pennock and Weah. Spilled by Bartram, but nobody in attendance to cause a problem for Gillingham. Deschamps and Hassan Tala. Thompson picking out Junior Lewis, and the intercepting Lambourne sets Chelsea on the front foot again. Zola. Weah just didn't really link up effectively there with tall Andre Flo. Jody Morris now for Chelsea. Way up. Oh, there's an instance on the edge of the box involving Junior Lewis. Was it Jody Morris? No, it was an off-the-ball incident, which the referee really is going to have to try and sort out here. A bit of pushing and shoving, and just watch the two players arriving on the edge of the penalty area now. That's what all the fuss is about. Well, Chelsea have so many players who can score from these free kicks. Zola set a club record in his time in Serie A with Parma in Italy. Many of his goals from free kicks helped Parma to success when Nevio Scala was in charge at the club. Let's see what Zola can do here. He's run over the ball. A good attempt on goal. Goalkeeper didn't quite get a touch despite the Chelsea protests. And Harley not too far away from making it 2-0. Lewis. And Edge might... he almost got there before the ball crossed the touchline. There'll be 2 minutes of stoppage time to be added on to the 45 we've almost played. And the tie is certainly not over by any stretch of the imagination. But Gillingham have to be careful here. George Weah's after this one. George Weah. That should have been 2-0. Scored in the last round, George Weah, against Leicester City. And when the ball left his boot, literally everybody inside the ground was ready to proclaim a goal. It took a very good save from the goalkeeper, who rather unwittingly got in the way of the shot. The ball just clipped his hip, and it landed on the top of the crossbar. This is Poyet. And Flo. He has John Harley arriving to his left. He didn't get rid of the ball. And Harley's nicked it back here for Chelsea. And Deschamps. And Lambourd. Zola. Great ball in towards Poyet. And it's a corner kick to Chelsea. Well determined defending there by Barry Ashby and his teammates, making sure that Chelsea didn't find another goal. But Gillingham have some defending to do now. Zola to wrap his right boot around the ball. Oh, free header for John Terry. And it's Chelsea 2 now, Gillingham 0. Well, this is desperate defending here by Gillingham. Nobody picked up Terry, and it was a free header for the young central defender. John Terry scores his first goal for Chelsea, his first senior goal, and it could well signal Chelsea's arrival in the semi-finals. The draw for the semi-finals of the FA Cup has been made in the last couple of minutes. It'll be Bolton against Everton or Aston Villa, who are about to kick off, or kicked off in the last 5 minutes or so. And Chelsea, who now have a 2-goal lead here at Stamford Bridge, are going to meet Newcastle United. So Newcastle await Chelsea if they can hang on for the remainder of this half without conceding 3 goals. As George Weah goes in search of this one. What a header by Weah! And that surely is now Chelsea for the last 4. Oh, that's an outrageous goal by George Weah. Picked out delightfully here by Didier Deschamps. Lifted the ball over the goalkeeper, but what a terrific looping header. Earlier today, Newcastle won by 3 goals to 2 against Tranmere at Prenton Park in Birkenhead. Chelsea 3-0 up here. And it could be more. Jody Morris. That's a fine save by the goalkeeper. Morris had placed the ball wide of Vince Bartram. And the goalkeeper made a very good stop, didn't he? Remember, Chelsea scored via a corner from John Terry, but they've managed to win another one here. 34 is John Harley, the soon-to-be England under-21 international. Zola with a corner. George Weah managing to get up and get his head on the ball, but no great accuracy. In strict comparison to the header he had, which made it 3-0. Morris. Zola takes over. 2 Italians combining. Poyet. Zola. Great ball. And unfortunately for Ambrosetti, fine save by Vince Bartram. Great ball in by Zola. The Italian connection. Meanwhile, George Weah is coming off. Seems to be limping slightly as he heads for the touchline. And he's replaced by Chris Sutton. So Chelsea have brought off all 3 of their goal scorers now. It's another dangerous corner. There's where they got it clear. Clement. Poyet. Oh, Laborde! Oh, dear me. Oh, he was destined to score then, but the act of dribbling the ball around the goalkeeper just defeated him. Oh, how disappointing. And 2 goals in the second half have swung things Chelsea's way. Roland Edge trying to swing over the cross. Came off Laborde. Can Gillingham find a consolation goal? And perhaps something in terms of memory of this game to take back to Kent. Hessenthaler with the corner. There could be a breakaway attack here. Deschamps. Edge can't get there, Zola can. And the keeper did well to reclaim the ball. Just for a moment there as Gianfranco Zola was galloping off towards goal. The prospect of a 4th Chelsea goal loomed large, but Bartram denied Chelsea. De Solly Lambourne was certainly no great disgrace to come here and lose by 3-0. Gillingham can be proud of themselves, what they've achieved in this season's FA Cup competition. They've already seen off Bradford City, they saw off Sheffield Wednesday. Two teams are struggling at the wrong end of the Premier League. And there's an opening here for Jody Morris, who's been hauled back by Browning. And we have a penalty. Jody Morris clean through on goal, and Browning just put an arm over his shoulder. No complaints from Gillingham, and a chance to make it 4-0. It's Gianfranco Zola against Vince Bartram. Chelsea are on their way now, all right. Zola scores with 5 minutes to go, and Chelsea are back in the FA Cup semi-finals. Deschamps and Zola, Lambourne. 8 here is Gus Poyet. 21 is Lambourne. Is there a 5th goal for Chelsea? Sutton can't get there. Oh, Morris. Yes, there is. Jody Morris had hit the frame of the goal. And then when the ball rebounded back to him, he managed to turn the ball past Vince Bartram for number 5. Sutton threatened. Gillingham never managed to clear the ball effectively, and Jody Morris followed up. Comedy of errors. Only 1 minute of stoppage time has been added on by the referee. Chelsea already have 5 goals. And it's all over. Well, what a day for Chelsea. It was relatively easy in the end, but it was tight up to half-time. Zola got on the score sheet from the penalty spot. After he managed to score, Jody Morris added a 5th. Weah scored an outrageous header. Terry too was unmarked to help the ball in after Flo had scored the opening goal. There's Peter Taylor, the manager of Gillingham. His team's FA Cup run comes to an end. But as you can see, a big smile on his face. Gillingham should be very proud of what they've achieved in this season's competition.
The FA Cup semi-finals were being played at Wembley on successive Sundays in April. So Chelsea took on Newcastle United in the second semi, knowing that whoever won would meet Aston Villa in the final. The Geordies have been runners-up for the last 2 years and were desperate to win the tournament, but they would have to overcome a very gifted Chelsea side who always seem to lift themselves for the big occasion. Commentary comes from Gary Bloom.
Speed. George Weah now for Chelsea. Sutton. They still can't clear it. Weah! Offside. That's not going to count. Well, they all had the opportunity to celebrate there, Chelsea. Plenty thought that was a goal. Looking at the slow motion replay, it was very tight. Solano now for Newcastle. Shearer waiting for the cross. Solano cuts in field. And he tried to slide the ball in there towards Shearer. And the raw from the Newcastle fans will tell you it's a corner kick. Lovely turn here by Solano, left his marker for dead. Desai dived in, got the ball to safety. And it's Solano to take this corner kick for Newcastle United. Still goalless after 8.5 minutes. Desai managed to get it clear, but he and Leboeuf got in each other's way. And Duncan Ferguson has hardly touched the ball. And there's a ball to roll out for a throw into Newcastle, which Warren Hughes will take. Hughes again. Speed. Up towards Shearer, who's turned Leboeuf. Still Shearer. And that is his menace. Well, we've already seen enough incident in this game to suggest it might be a better semi-final than last week. What a colossal error of judgment there by Leboeuf. And it took a good stop by Desai to deny Alan Shearer. The old fella thought it was going to be Newcastle's day there. Good interception by Howie. Given completes the clearance. Game has settled down into a pleasing ebb and flow of Newcastle attack followed by Chelsea attack. Wise. Poyet. Sutton. Way up. Terrific ball. Poyet! 1-0 to Chelsea. The ease at which Chelsea carved through Newcastle then was embarrassing. A succession of 1-2s. And Newcastle were well and truly undone. George Weah just helped the ball through, and Poyet just helped the ball over Shay Given, and it's first blood to Chelsea after 16 minutes of the game. Poyet began the move, picked out Sutton. Nobody picked him up though. Yeah, that'll do for me. Hughes. Debisas. It's missed. Oh, there's an appeal for handball in there. It was missed initially by Desai. And Gus Poyet, or was it Leboeuf, appeared to handle the ball? Well, that's handball. Definitely. There was a very loud appeal by the fans. The referee didn't spot it though. It's a corner kick now to Newcastle United, with 5 minutes to go to half-time. It's headed out by George Weah. Maybe some of that luck we talked about earlier on has been evened out now. Solano. Harley. Throw-in goes Newcastle's way. Now Newcastle United could do with a goal here to lift their sagging confidence. Shearer. Oh, what a chance there for Solano. Newcastle's best opportunity of the match. De Hoy came for the ball, got stuck in no man's land, and was, I'm sure, relieved to see it fly over his crossbar. Had Solano kept his shot down there, parity would have been restored. Poyet shielding it here from Warren Barton. Well, Chelsea have started the second half a little shakily here. You do get the impression Newcastle United have been encouraged, let's put it that way, by their manager Bobby Robson at half-time. How on earth Gus Poyet let Warren Barton in the back door here? Goodness only knows. It's a corner kick play to the back post. Dyer's there for Newcastle. Didier Domi. Dyer again. Shearer! So close to his 17th FA Cup goal for Newcastle in this his 21st cup tie. Sing your hearts out for the lads is the cry from the Newcastle end, and they're doing just that. Every breath from every Newcastle fan is now urging their side on towards an equaliser. Speed. Dyer! Oh! Marvellous save. And the lads are responding. Barton's wonderful cross here. And Dyer certainly met that one with a terrific effort. What a save there by the Dutch goalkeeper Ed de Hoy. Solano with a corner. Another corner kick. And this is all being played out down at the end of the ground where the Newcastle fans are watching the game. Solano. Speed. Desai won that little duel. It's as far as Rob Lee, who opts for the throw-in. Terrific header by Leboeuf. Deschamps. Speed. No offside. Dabizas! And snatched back by Ed de Hoy. Dabizas went snapping in, trying to win the ball again. And crunched into the fingers of Ed de Hoy. Oh, but Newcastle are now on full steam ahead. Well, one or two hopeful Chelsea defenders looking for an offside flag here, but none was available as Dabizas almost stole an equaliser. Warren Barton. Howie. Solano and Shearer. He's left Leboeuf. It's a lovely cross and a beautiful goal. Newcastle are level. Robert Lee. He hasn't scored an FA Cup goal for almost 3 years. What a time to score one. Shearer, so often the goal scorer for Newcastle, this time his goal maker. Terrific determination by Shearer to get the ball into the middle, and Rob Lee, the man thrown on the scrap heap by Ruud Gullit at the start of the season, could well have signalled Newcastle United's revival in this semi-final, and perhaps Bobby Robson will come back to Wembley on May the 20th. Oh, we have a very different game now. There really was an inevitability about that goal, bearing in mind how much Newcastle had attacked. But this is where they could be vulnerable just after they've scored. Given gets it clear. Chelsea, oh, there's a fight here involving Poyet and Warren Barton. And the tamest of games has sparked into aggression and anger just seconds after that goal. As we look again at this incident involving Dabisas and Ware and Given. Was there a push there by Domi on Gus Poyet? And Howie and Poyet then squared up to each other. And Barton got involved. Well, wherever you're watching this game, you can't fault the FA Cup in England for commitment and passion. If we could only bottle it and sell it. Shearer, Solano. Tor and Ray Flo, the cavalry are arriving. If a little bit late, Wise arriving. We're arriving here for Chelsea. Harley. It's a lovely cross. 2-1 to Chelsea. And he's done it again. That could be the goal which takes Chelsea to the FA Cup final. Gus Poyet again has scored for Chelsea. What a superb cross, and Poyet was head and shoulders above the Newcastle defence to restore Chelsea's lead and bring delight and relief to Gianluca Vialli. And Chelsea have nicked the ball here. Poyet back to Zola, who can end it here. You always know Zola's going to get a shot on target and provide some work for the opposing goalkeeper. Dabisas, Katzbayer, Speed. And this terrific run of Newcastle's of having won their last 6 FA Cup semi-finals seems destined to come to an end now. Unless a Newcastle player can score the goal to take us into extra time. Solano, Shearer, and Dyer. Saved by De Hoy. Solano peels for handball. Neither referee nor referee's assistant spotted it. And Zola could be away here. And it's intercepted by Warren Barton. Now that'll do. Chelsea will be coming back here on the 20th of May for the FA Cup final. Gus Poyet's 2 goals have been enough to steer them past Bobby Robson's Newcastle United. For 3 seasons now, Newcastle have come here and lost. What a season it's turning out to be for Chelsea.
With the big day approaching, the final preparations were being made. Paul Dempsey observed as the clock ticked down to kick-off.
The bookmakers think that for Chelsea, this afternoon will be a piece of cake. After a disappointing 5th-place league finish, the team need a Wembley win for a place in next season's UEFA Cup. As Gianluca Vialli's side prepared at their Middlesex training ground, the coach outlined what he wanted from his squad.
It's down to the players because I can't control them when they leave the training ground, so it's down to them behaving in a professional way and think about the match and try to get in the right frame of mind and also physically have some rest in the afternoons and make sure that if they need to do something at the training ground, they do it.
Chelsea last lifted the cup in 1997 under the guidance of Ruud Gullit, their first trophy in more than 25 years. Captain Dennis Wise has no doubt the performance that day brought more to the club than just the silverware.
I think by winning that cup, it changed everything about the club. They decided to put their money where their mouth is and go for it. and they have in the last few years. You know, we've won a few cups since then, and it was a big starting point for the club.
With their newfound money and prestige, Chelsea could now attract the big-name foreign stars. But with a wealth of overseas talent, it's become all too easy for the critics to say the players don't recognise the importance of the FA Cup.
I'm professional and I know how it's beautiful to win. To be English or not English is not important, because I heard a discourse of somebody who said Aston Villa will be more motivated than Chelsea because there's more English in Aston Villa. This is wrong. This is wrong. We have the opportunity to win. Then, as a professional, it's the same. The motivation is at the same level.
If Vialli's side don't secure their passport to Europe, many expect that some of the foreign stars will take flight. Their English teammates know that if they stay, the side could go on to greater things.
We've got a good bunch here. We get on very well, and hopefully they won't. Not many of them will leave, and because we're so close to achieving so much with these players, and we just need another maybe couple of seasons together. We might just achieve what we want.
Despite the long season and 61 games in all competitions, Vialli's squad is almost at full strength. The only injury worry is the defender Albert Ferrer. The Spaniard has an ankle strain, and that's put his place on the big stage in jeopardy.
I want to play. I want to play. Of course, it's a big day and big match, and it's a game every one of us wants to play. But we'll see. I can't say nothing else yet.
Vialli's put the Dutch youngster Mario Melchiot on standby, and the former Ajax man would relish his opportunity.
Yeah, I think for me it's a special moment when I will be, only if you already be involved in the squad, it will be a special thing. And especially because I had a hard season, the injury and everything what I've been through. And as well for my family to see me playing in the FA Cup final. It's for us, you know, it's like an honour.
Chelsea might be going into this as favourites, but they know from past experience that Villa will be no pushover.
Every time we play against Aston Villa, we find it very hard to score a goal. Also this season, the two games, it's 1-0 and 0-0. There's also one goal who decide the game, and we didn't create too many chances. It's really difficult to create chances against them.
But the mood in the Chelsea camp is buoyant as usual, with the right blend of confidence and respect for the opposition.
And I hope Chelsea will have that mentality, you know, go on the field Saturday, see how better we can win, you know, because we need very good team spirit to capture the trophy, because now it's a task, you know. Aston Villa is a great team too, you know.
They've got quality players. They might play out of their skins and they might win the match, because we might be in one of those days in which doesn't matter how hard you try, you can't play. So we might lose it. As long as we do our best, we've got something to celebrate anyway.
Saturday, May the 20th finally arrived, and both sets of fans, including their famous supporters, were in confident mood.
Today is important to us because it's our principal way back into Europe. Having not gone into the European Cup and not coming in the first two in the Premier League, we've got to fight our way in. So today's actual result is much more than just the Cup. It's very important indeed.
Massive day. We want to win. 43 years, isn't it? It's a stepping stone onto Europe, bigger things. I think John Gregory would do really well.
The international team supporting the international team. Kent, Sunderland, Ireland, Yorkshire, we are from everywhere, because the Blues are the best.
G'day, followed Villa for the last 25 years. Flew in from Sydney a couple of days ago, fly out a couple of days' time, just here for the final.
This is the biggest day now for Chelsea at the end of the season. We've got to qualify for Europe, which we're going to do.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's just been here. It's absolutely brilliant. The fact that we've got tickets to get in for a change is it's brilliant, isn't it? It's the first time we've been as a family.
Chelsea were now 90 minutes away from engraving their club's name on the FA Cup for the third time in their history. Their opponents, Aston Villa, had won the Cup 7 times, but unfortunately for them, the last occasion was way back in 1957, and only once had they lifted the Cup at Wembley. With Albert Ferrer injured, Dutchman Mario Melchiot made his FA Cup debut at right back, and with all the striking options at his disposal, Gianluca Vialli elected to partner George Weah with Gianfranco Zola up front. The newly married Torre Andre Flo was on the bench, but there were no places in the 16 for Chris Sutton or Dan Petrescu. Your commentary team is Ray Clements and Peter Brackley.
Deschamps, then Southgate for Villa. They haven't really settled yet.
No, certainly Villa haven't settled. It's interesting that Desai is dealing with Dion Dublin. I thought Dion Dublin would try and push on to Leboeuf, because if Leboeuf has got a weakness, he doesn't tend to like playing against big strikers who rough him up a little bit.
As Alan Shearer did in the semi. Here's Zola now. Almost a loose challenge by Alan Wright. That would have been interesting had he made contact. Well, Dennis Wise certainly did. As he fired that one through into the midriff of David James.
Well, that shows a man who's playing superb confidence here. Zola, lovely little trick there. Alan Wright nearly makes the tackle. When it comes out here, Dennis Wise only got one thought in his mind. Right foot volley, and David James right behind it. It's moving away from him, but gets his body into line and makes it look very simple.
He was saying earlier this week, Dennis Wise, what I would really like to do is score in an FA Cup final. As John Gregory looks on, he feels he can do a better job up there in the stands rather than getting too heated down on the sidelines. Certainly Gianluca Vialli keeping his emotions in check at this stage.
I think what John Gregory does now is quite valid. You know, he sits up there, certainly in the first half. You can see the pattern of the game, you can see who's doing well, where the possible weaknesses are, and then you can make better assessments, I think, at half-time.
Maybe his ranting and raving down on the touchline was putting players off. And I think he'd go along with that.
Well, I think the players voted for him just there with the stand, didn't they?
That challenge was late. It's left Boateng in certain discomfort on the ground. Barry's cross took a deflection. Now Mercer. Good effort too.
Well, that's what he's capable of. That's what we talked about before the game. Any half chance on the edge of the box is a wonderful volley of the ball outside of the right foot there, always dipping. But Ed de Hoy certainly had it covered, was across his goal. Probably a little bit closer than what he hoped it was going to be, but certainly good effort from Merson.
Poyet on to Zola, he's got Wise, and we're up with it. Still Zola. Chose to go it alone, and it's getting a ticking off now from Dennis Wise.
Well, quite rightly as well, because when Zola received that ball, Wise was totally free, centre of goal, and an early ball into him would have given him an excellent opportunity.
Boateng leading the counter chance for Villa, but not for long. Where? There's only Zola right upfield with him. But the troops are beginning to arrive. And it's too heavy, the pass from George Weah. Man who's enjoyed so much success around the world. Relishing now playing in an FA Cup final, as are so many of these foreign players. And the first half comes to an end with not too much to enthuse over, in truth, from either team. There have been very few chances. John Gregory will have plenty to say in the dressing room, so will Gianluca Vialli during the half-time interval. There have been no goals so far in the first FA Cup final of the new century. It's Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 0. Desai. They even gave him the wrong number once. Zola. Good link-up play here from Chelsea. George Weah! It almost skimmed the upright from Weah. Suddenly Chelsea broke, and suddenly Aston Villa were opened up.
A delightful ball there from Zola. He hits it first time on the turn. I think David James possibly had it covered, but a lovely layoff from Zola. George Weah thought nothing better than to hit that. And certainly James, for the first time in the game, was stretched.
untidy. In goes Deschamps for Chelsea. Now Dennis Wise. Play on, says Graham Poll. Taylor back on his feet now. But he looks to be struggling. Off goes Babayaro. It's a good tackle though by Delaney. His defensive qualities have come under scrutiny for Villa this season. Very good going forward. Well, he showed he can defend as well then. Here's Frank Leboeuf. Out by Southgate. In goes Leboeuf again. And then Di Matteo. The keeper lost it and it's squeezed in by Dennis Wise. No, it's been given as a free kick. The flag was up, Wise went in with his boot raised, and the goal has been chalked off.
I think you'll see there when the ball was knocked in, as this shot comes in. Over on that far side, George Weir, I think it is just in an offside position. And although Wise wasn't, Weir certainly just about was, and that's what the linesman gave it for.
Yeah, I thought for a moment he'd penalised Dennis Wise, but no, the flag was up already, and it must have been Weir who was offside. But here's Carbone for Villa. They need some magic from him. But Zola might provide it here for Chelsea. In goes Poyet, and Weir! Oh, what a great chance he squandered there. Unguarded far post. He really should have turned that one in. And the Chelsea fans can't believe that he hasn't managed to tuck it away.
Well, that's a wonderful opportunity. It's a crunching tackle here with Alan Wright, but Zola whips a wonderful ball in. And there's Weir with his left foot. What is he, 5 yards out? Slightly on the angle. He's got to hit the target. David James coming across, does all that side of the goal to hit it into. Gets underneath it. And Villa are very, very lucky at the moment not to be one down.
It goes Weir again. Did he handle that? Still Weir. James was brave. And another chance has gone a-begging. Deschamps. But Chelsea are beginning to create. Deschamps again. Now Wise. This time the danger has passed. Well, he was quick to make up his mind then to come for that one, David James.
Well, he was, because when the ball's delivered through, he thinks about coming, decides to go back. Now he knows it's the right time. And as they say in goalkeeping, it's not how you stop it, it's just getting in the way of it. This, I think, actually hit his shoulder. He just threw himself at it and managed to get a block on.
Dublin. And then Carbone. A great tackle, though, by Desailly. My word, he was in quickly then. Magnificent defending.
Well, it was, because it was Desailly who actually challenged with Dion Dublin in the first place, and he still recovered his feet to actually get the challenge in on Carbone.
Well, he's so often saved the day for Chelsea during his time at Stamford Bridge.
It's his challenge there, but he's on his quick feet and manages to get the challenge in as Carbone gets a good strike on target.
It's a tremendous recovery from Desailly. Off goes Melchiot now. No sign of fatigue from him on his Wembley debut. And he's turned Ian Taylor, who did well to get back at it, but actually caught him in the process. So it will be a free kick to Chelsea. Maybe a little unlucky then, Taylor.
It's a wonderful little trick there, isn't it? Certainly full tail, then Taylor's all arms and legs over him, and certainly quite right, a free kick.
Yeah, it was ungamely. Gianfranco Zola. James lost it and it's in! No. Or is it? It has been given. And Chelsea have gone in front. For a moment I thought there Graham Poll had turned it down again. But it was stopped into the back of the net. And it was Di Matteo.
Yes, James coming in amongst bodies there. Dropped it again, unfortunately. And there was Di Matteo. No chance for James this. I think he sort of got in between whether he was going to catch it or whether he was going to punch it. Didn't do either, and when it dropped down, he wasn't lucky this time. It dropped straight down to Di Matteo, and he just smashed it straight into the roof of the net.
A restrained reaction from Gianluca Vialli, but not from the Chelsea fans around Wembley. Di Matteo, the man who scored that goal inside 43 seconds back in '97 in the win over Middlesbrough, has done it again. Melchior being told just to calm down by Graham Poll. I think that is the only action he's going to take. But it's a warning for the Dutch defender. How will Aston Villa respond now? Paul Merson. Now comes De Hoy. Carbone! And off the line from Frank Leboeuf. De Hoy was stranded. There's no real meat in the shot from Carbone.
Well, it just shows how you need luck as a goalkeeper. De Hoy there comes for the ball. He's always struggling to get to it. He's reaching when he actually gets his fist on it, but when it drops straight through the first player's legs, and then Carbone fails to make a good strike on it. If Carbone makes a good strike there, the score's 1-1.
Merson again, trying desperately here to conjure something up for Villa. It was Dublin, then Zola away. The goal came on 73 minutes. So there is still time for Aston Villa to pull this game around. Southgate just lumping it hopefully forward. Desailly is there, as he has been time and time again. They're all retreating now for Chelsea. This is Barry. Desperate clearance, but a decisive one too from Poyet. De Hoy staying on his line. Ehihog. And as it sails over the bar, Villa's hopes may well have gone with it.
Yes, this is a half chance for Villa. When Poyet clears it, they don't hesitate, get that ball back in the box. And just look at the space Ehihog has got there, that far post. Even if he can't get it on target, if he can get it back across goal, you've got Joachim, you've got Dublin, who just might put it in the net. That's really a disappointment for them. And Dublin threw himself to the floor. He knew that that probably is Villa's last opportunity.
Up goes Joachim. It was Stone. Stoppage time is almost up. That's handball by Melchior. And Villa can't take it quickly enough. Even David James is racing forward now. Merson will wait for him to arrive. It's all or nothing for Villa. Merson's free kick, up goes James. And it's desperately hacked away by Gustavo Poyet. James has stayed upfield. It's all over, and the first FA Cup final of the new millennium, and the last here at Wembley, has been won by Chelsea. Roberto Di Matteo. Well, it won't go down as the best goal you'll ever see at Wembley, but it's such an important one for him and his team. A triumph for the second time in 3 years for Chelsea. They have followed their success over Middlesbrough back in '97 by overcoming Aston Villa today to give Gianluca Vialli his 4th trophy as club manager.
Dennis and Henry Wise collected the trophy together, a picture that will be another enduring memory of the most famous day in the sporting calendar. It was the 5th trophy that Wise had lifted as the Blues skipper. He was also named as the sponsor's man of the match. Roberto Di Matteo earned his place in history as the scorer of the last ever goal at the original Wembley Stadium, as did Chelsea, winners of the last final under the Twin Towers, the first of the new millennium.